So and I invite you, if you have questions as I go through some of the stuff, and I am going to make it interactive. Since Constantine and I did that session with the Centurion Mastermind Group a number of months ago, I've fallen in love with the breakout rooms. So when I do these things, I try to find ways to get you guys involved. This is a small group, so I might not get there, but we'll see how it goes. So let me go ahead and share my screen and bring up the presentation. Okay, so what I thought I would talk about today was referral partner program, and a new way of doing things. And when I say new, it's not entirely 100% new. I have touched on this in the past, but it was like one slide on another prospecting session that I did. So I've expanded this out to an entire session to really give it its due. I think there's a real opportunity here if you guys bite into this to really build something for yourselves, and it could become a major source of business for you. So I hope you guys find this of use. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk why referrals, which is fairly self-evident, I think, but I wanted to have a bit of a discussion around why work on getting referrals for your business. So we'll have a bit of a discussion about that. Challenges working with referrals. Why doesn't it always work? And I'm going to, again, it's going to be interactive. I want you guys to share some ideas. And then we'll talk about how to tackle some of these challenges. And I'm looking for you guys again. What are you doing to work on it? Make it better. I've got a couple of ideas, and I've got some extra ideas on ways to encourage people to send you referrals before we get to the actual plan, this new kind of referral plan with action steps that I've got for you. And at the end, hopefully, we've gone through all of your questions, but if there's anything outstanding at the end, then I want to make sure that there's time to answer your questions before we finish off. Okay. So any questions before we get started? Okay. So why referrals? Year after year after year after year, when we ask people, where does your business come from? And it's not just us, it's every trainer, coach, company out there. They ask, where does most of your business come from? Realtors say that their main source of income is referrals, right? People and if you've been in the business for a few years, it's just natural. You've done a great job for people in the past. They're going to refer you. You're going to get some extra business. Goes without saying. But this next stat, as much as 95% of some realtors' business is repeat and referral business, to me, that's a bit of an issue. Because the reality is that your repeat and referral business that just comes to you should make up no more than 50, 60% of your business. I would maintain that if 95% of your business is coming from those accidental referrals, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Does that make sense to you guys? Would you agree with that? Yeah. If it's just coming to you and you're not really working hard for it, then you're leaving money on the table. And yet that's what we hear from people. 95% of my business comes from referrals. So I really wanted to, talk about how do we make this better. So people are challenged with the notion if they don't see the referrals coming in too, right? They hear other realtors talking in the lunchroom or, on meetings, oh yeah, 90% of my business comes from referrals. And they're sitting there wondering, what am I doing wrong? Because that's not working for me. So how do we deal with that? Okay. So right off the bat, I want to get into a group discussion on this. Let's see how many people we've got on the call now. So if I've got enough people, what I want to do is put you in a couple of groups. I want you guys to talk about this specific question. What are the challenges you're having in getting referrals from your networks? And on the next page, we're going to write down your notes. So elect a speaker in your group, okay? And then come up with some ideas, spend a few minutes talking about this, and then we'll put it down on paper. And at the end, when I record this and share it out, I'll share out the slides as well, so you've got a copy of this stuff. So you've got something tangible to take with you, okay? So I'm going to break you guys into rooms. Take about 7 minutes, okay? 2 rooms, it should be enough. Well, maybe there's enough for 3 now. Small groups, okay? Hey guys. I thought I'd join this group because Sean McNeven is in here too, I think. And he's
hang tight. I'm just going to see if I can put my headphones on. 1 sec.
Yeah. He's at work just listening to us, so I thought I'd join this group. So we got a few minutes. What are the challenges you're experiencing working with referrals?
I'll do it. I'll leave them for the team, no problem. Got my pencil.
Malcolm, what have you been experiencing trying to work with referrals and get referrals?
Referrals?
What kind of challenges?
Just the amount of business I've done is like I have gotten some referrals lately,
Yeah.
but it's just kind of kicked in the during COVID actually.
Okay.
So I've gotten referral buyers, and I'm working with the kids of somebody that but for me, it's just kind of volume of that stuff, I guess.
So just time in the business, just
It's
not
just
enough
time
past
in the
clients.
business, and I was working another job till December, and I'm now doing this more full time again, and
Yeah.
getting kind of more on top of that. So for me, it's a big timing thing. So I'm sure there's lots of other issues. I just haven't got to the point where I'm heavily into the other issues yet.
Okay. Well, that's good though. Those are your specific issues you're dealing with. That's what we're looking for. So
Yep.
What about you, Dion? I know you've got a pretty big network. So but at the same time, I'm sure you're dealing with some challenges in dealing with, excuse me, 1 second. I'll be right back. Catherine. There we go. Just had someone else join and she wasn't assigned to a group, so she's sitting there by herself. So I know you got a pretty good network, Dion, but you must be experiencing some challenges and that you're trying to address with getting referrals.
So I do have a lot of referrals. 90% of my business is referral.
Okay.
What I don't do well is how to foster that relationship sort of after the sale.
Okay. Foster. I'm just making some notes here. So I might as well be the speaker for this group. Fostering the relationship after the fact. So these are specifically, you're talking about people you've done a deal with.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's a good one. What about people that are in your network that you haven't done business with yet? Are they sending you referrals?
Yes.
They are.
Yeah.
Do you think you're getting the most you can out of it, or is there something that could, could be worked on?
No, I think I can do a better job. Again, like people that I know that have given me referrals, I haven't done a great job fostering that environment either. Like sending a thank you card and acknowledging what they've done for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I got to do a better job of.
Okay. Okay. In general, what do you think realtors struggle with in terms of dealing with referrals? You guys have got the main ones here, right? Not enough past clients yet, or if I have done some deals, I'm dropping the ball sometimes on fostering that relationship going forward. My existing networks know I'm in the business. I've talked to them at least once or twice and let them know I'm doing this, but I'm still not getting the right number of referrals out of that database. Is there anything else do you think that people tend to struggle with, whether or not it's your issue or not? Here's one that has come up in my past. My immediate sphere, and it's like family members not calling me when they want to do a deal, right? So they know I'm in business. They know I've done this for years and years. And hell, my sister has done 2 deals in the last couple of years and not called me so that I can get a referral fee out of it. Once, and I know this is being recorded, she'll probably see this someday. Once she called me and asked me, how's the market, what's going on, how's business, how are pricing, what's pricing, et cetera, et cetera. And I started answering her questions and finally asked her what's going on. She says, well, I'm looking at buying a condo for an investment property. I said, oh, great. Let me get you a realtor. Oh, no, I've already got a realtor. I just wanted to pick your brain. So my immediate reaction is get angry. Second reaction is I must have done something wrong. I've dropped the ball somehow and not fostered that part of the relationship properly, right? She knows this is how I feed, clothe, and house my family, but she still didn't make that connection, right? So that's on me.
I guess it's bringing it up. Like when I call people that I haven't done a deal with, but going through my list, I haven't historically brought up the referral part of it sometimes.
Okay.
So just making sure they know, like they're thinking, okay, if I have a deal, I might go to Malcolm, but if their sister is, just kind of fostering, hey, you could do it this way too, or.
So would I be off base to say not knowing how to ask or encourage referrals?
Yeah, and I've done it sometimes. It's just it's not automatically my brain. Sometimes depending on the conversation, it's popped in, I brought it up.
Yeah.
But when the conversation isn't as easy sometimes, that's the type of stuff that I guess I've dropped.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Anything else? We got a couple more minutes. Maybe I overestimated how long this would take to get through.
No, That's great. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Just making sure I got my notes straight so I can share this with the group and type it out fast.
Is there another person in our group?
In our group?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Sean McNeven should be in the group, but he's at work and he's just listening to us.
Oh, awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Sean.
Hey guys, sorry, I'm just on a sales floor here down at Best Buy. I'm one of the managers, so I have an earpiece in each ear,
Nice. Do
and
your
I'm
thing,
being
man.
called, so I have to go.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you guys in one ear and the radio for the store in the other.
Right on.
So yeah, I got to go deal with the customer situation. I'll be right back.
Good luck.
Good. Okay. I'm going to let everybody know that we're going to go back in a minute. All right. Working on anything fun right now, Malcolm?
I've been working with like 3 sets of buyers, so no.
I get that.
When Bill gets like 25 offers on his broken down house, and
That
Which
thing
one?
was a dump over
the
on
one
Lake
on
Street.
Link Street.
Oh yeah.
That thing was, holy cow. Good for him, but to get it, that many offers on it.
There was a lot of work to be done there.
Yeah, a ton.
I knew there'd be a number of offers, but once I hit 15, we decided not to bother. So
Crazy.
Should always throw the spaghetti at the wall. You never know what might stick.
yeah, with 25, I didn't.
Okay, guys. I hope that was useful discussion and you guys come up with some ideas. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen and put that presentation back up there. And we'll get down some ideas so you guys can use these later. Okay. So who wants to go first? Who was a speaker from the second group? Anybody here a speaker for one of the groups?
Hi there. Well, in our discussion, I think, I'm not sure about I came in a little late, so I don't know what the challenges was, but it was more like we're just not putting out the ask,
Okay.
we're not really mixing, family and friends directly with our business.
Mhm.
Kind of another conversation we touched on was maybe putting a little more focus on the repeat and referral aspects of past clients would probably be beneficial, as opposed to maybe at the family dinner table, asking for referrals that way.
Not so more focus on past clients in addition to like family and friends.
Yes.
Okay.
And whenever you're working with clients at the beginning of the relationship, or what Catherine suggested as, when you're going through all the offers and they're happy, that's when you're kind of asking for friends and family or anyone else that we could help for business.
So would it be fair to say not asking enough or not at the right time? Or at the ideal time?
Sure. Yeah.
That'd be okay to say it that way? Okay. Thanks for that. One of the other groups, I was the speaker in one group, but there were 3 groups. So who was on the other group?
I was with Jack and Kristen.
Okay.
I think we were all kind of the same mindset, but had a different take on what we were speaking about today with referrals. So
Okay.
we were looking at it more like using colleagues from other areas as referrals. So we were a little confused when we first started this, but
No, that's great.
some of it might be valuable. So we were talking about, out of area, and we addressed that some of what used to be out of area is not anymore. People are going further afield. Kind of touched based on that. But Jack brought up like he has connections with people in Calgary, who is obviously much further afield than Peterborough.
Yeah.
And ways he stays in touch with agents out there who have sent business. by providing things like market stats for this area, and with the hope that, you know, should somebody be moving from that area or a connection to them out here, they could reach out to Jack as a local expert and refer that business off.
Okay.
And then Kristen was saying that she still does, you know, sort of referral work or work with other agents as well, in a variety of different ways. And I think we've all had that take. That's sort of the
No, that's
direction of the
great.
conversation.
That's great, because you know what,
Kind of thought was going, but
you know, if you're listening to any Tom Ferry stuff, he always talks about the number 4 source of business is agent to agent referral. Year after year with the top producers, the agents that are making $500,000 or more, their number 4 source of business is agent to agent referral. So I think those are great points. Okay, so the group that I was in, you know, some of the challenges were time in the business, you know, just being new, right? Being new and not having a large past client sphere to speak with and deal with on a regular basis, just not having enough of them. Hang on, what's it? Not enough past clients to rely on. One person said about 90% of his business is referral right now, but where he's seeing a challenge is fostering the relationships after the fact. So he'll do a deal, and then, you know, it's a challenge to not drop the ball on continuing to build the relationship after. So, so I'm going to say sometimes not staying in touch. With clients and with his network, right? He knows he's getting referrals out of his network, but he isn't always staying in touch with them and doing a great job of remaining in contact with them. And I know it's a challenge for everybody, especially those of you with large spheres of influence. If you've got, you know, 400, 500, 600 people in your database, it is a challenge to make those calls on a regular basis and remind them you're in business and ask for referrals. So it can take some. It's a special kind of challenge. Clients and sphere of influence. And another point they come up with is just simply not knowing how to make the ask, right? Not asking enough came up already, but just not knowing how to make the ask. And to your point, Andrew, if you're thinking this is going to be different, we're going to get there. I really just want to have a basis for the discussion as we move forward. Okay. So that's great. Thanks for that, guys. The next thing I wanted to chat about was how do we address those, right? So I want to take another 5 or 7 minutes. Again, we'll break you into groups, have a speaker come back and report back so we can share these ideas. What things can you do? This is the specific question I would like you to address. What things can you do to overcome these challenges, right? And, you know, I said to you, I've got some ideas here. One of the big ones is simply asking. Right. So I already started the list. Just remember to ask. The best time is to do it when they're happy and excited and satisfied, right? But it's always appropriate to ask for those referrals if you do it in a thoughtful way. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes. I'll break you into groups again here and answer that question. What are some ways that you can address some of these challenges so that we can improve on our processes? Okay. Okay, so who have I got here with me? Jack's outside, Sean and me. Sean had to drop off. Let's just make sure we've got everybody.
Salesy. And I know that's a bit of an oxymoron given our position, but
we
Hey,
are
guys.
salespeople. But
Hey, Doug.
hello. Maybe just knowing how to ask so you don't feel like you're begging or being pushy or any of that.
yeah. So we were just saying, or I was saying that certainly probably don't do it enough. But oftentimes when I do think about doing it, I struggle to come up with a way that doesn't sound quote unquote salesy. Now I know that's an oxymoron given the position we're in, but you know, I've seen other people do it. Like I talked to a friend of mine last night and his sons played soccer and we were talking about real estate. And he said that the coach of this soccer team, literally after every game or practice, would stand out there and give his real estate pitch and have cards to hand out.
Holy cow.
And he was like, it was like every time, right? Like, so
That's a little
how
much.
I feel like when I do it. So,
Yeah, that's a little much. So I get where you're coming from. The how do you ask without sounding like a car salesman, right? No offense to car salesman, but you know, that's the image that we all bring to mind, right? The you know, the 1970s slimy salesperson, right?
or anybody from Buffalo.
Or anybody from Buffalo. Did Buffalo hurt you, Andrew?
No, but all of their sales pitches on TV are all that way.
They're terrible.
Okay. So how do we get across that? How do we cross that chasm? If I would make the suggestion, if that's how you want to address the challenge, is getting better skills, right? So improve your skills and learn how to communicate, maybe a little in a new way.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make some notes. In a new or improved way.
And
Okay.
everyone's different too, right? Like some people are comfortable with being salesy and other people don't want to be. I think it depends on your personality too.
Yeah, it does. And it knows it if you know what to say, right? If you I love the Rob Vivian scripting, I really do. Because he calls and he says, and he's honest about it. This is a business call. If you got a couple of minutes, right? And you talk
Right.
business for a couple of minutes and then you move on, then you talk personal. So the sliminess goes away. I love that approach personally. So that's one. I wanted to ask you guys, like some of the specific items that were on that list, how would you address, for example, a question, fostering the relationship after the sale? So you've done the work, you got the deal closed, everybody's excited, you know, 2 months go by, uh-oh, I haven't talked to them, what do I do? So, you know, how do you fix that, or how do you improve that process?
I think a thank you follow-up, just saying, hey, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Is a good first touch afterwards.
Yeah.
And then that shows that you appreciate it.
For sure.
And then after that, maybe something like the stats or something of value. Like I feel like just spamming people with here I am, it's kind of annoying. But
Yeah.
if you can at least give something of value that they open that email and go, oh yeah, this person's actually giving me some information. I think that's really important.
Right on. So, and would you try to, and I'm leading, this is a leading question. Would you try to make that very systematic and have a schedule attached to that?
I think so. Why not?
Yeah.
With the CRM, make
Yeah.
a task or make a, I don't know what it's called in our CRM, but make a set of actions that's, you know, 1 month later you do a thank you, or 2 weeks later, I don't know. And then a month later you do something else and have it all set out so it reminds you.
So I just saw that Jack is not assigned to a room.
Oh, poor Jack.
So I fixed it. There we go. Sorry about that. So that's great, Kristen. Thank you for that. And that would go for recent clients and people in your network too. As long as you've got some kind of a schedule in place, some methodology to make sure that you reach out to them on a regular basis, that stands to reason it's going to improve your success rate, right? Not knowing how to ask, time in the business, not enough past clients. That one is, you know, it's a valid concern from newer agents, not enough past clients. I think we can address that though by just saying, you know, anybody you know, get them in that's your sphere of influence and make the same kinds of calls to those people, right? So it's I understand where that concern comes from, but the rationale is, or excuse me, the response I would have is anybody you know should be getting the same kinds of calls anyway. It's not the immediate kind of past client call that Kristen was just talking about, the thank you and how are things going, that kind of stuff. You don't have that, but the rest of it you can still apply, I think.
Yeah. What about, like, I was going through my database and number of the people, well, not a number, but a few of them on there are people who have sold here and are no longer in this area at all. They've moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's still value in a referral, or do you think it depends on the distance, or?
You know what? I think there's still value in communicating with those people. I'm just going to let everybody know I got 1 minute we're going to close the breakout rooms and we'll come back to the main session. Yeah, absolutely. Like Jack mentioned, he's got people in Calgary that he still communicates with on a regular basis, right? So he has gotten referrals from them and sent referrals. So yeah, if they move away, I think it's valuable to still let them know what's going on here, because if they've moved away, they probably still have connections here, right? So those people that still live here that are still their friends, when they're talking about, hey, we're thinking about moving too, and like, who should we talk to? You know what? Andrew did a fantastic job for us when we moved back to Toronto. You should call him. So I think there is still value in talking to those people from out of town. Makes sense to me, at least. The message might change a little bit, but I think what you still want to do is let them know what's going on here, what's going on in the general market. And it's the same conversation. Hey, this is a business call. If you got a couple of minutes, I think it can still work.
Yeah. Do you think if you haven't touched base with somebody in an excessively long time that you should start with it's a business call, or do you think you should have?
Hey guys, Andrew was just asking a great question when we were finishing up there. I correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, but I think where you're going was if you've had somebody in your database and you haven't spoken to them in an excessively long period of time, and maybe they've moved away or maybe they haven't, should you, how would you approach those people? Here's how I would suggest you do it. You call them up and say, you know what? I apologize. It's been 2 years since we talked and I've really dropped the ball here and that's on me. So, and I'm not going to let it happen again. So if you got a couple of minutes, I just wanted to really just reach out and see how you're doing. The first call. The next call after that, they go into your regular call cycle and it's, hey, this is a business call. Have you got a couple of minutes for me? So own it. If you have dropped the ball and not communicated with somebody for a while, tell them and say that. Call them and say, hey, I'm really sorry. I screwed up. And then carry on, right? What are you going to do to fix it? I screwed up. I'm not going to let it happen again. How you doing? And then the next call picks up right where you left off. Okay, that's my suggestion. All right, so let me just go here. Okay, so how do we address some of these concerns? I'll start and then ask you guys. So in our group, there was still, still talking a little bit about the challenges, how to not sound salesy, right? You want to make these calls, you should be doing it, but how do you do it without sounding salesy? So I suggest that one of the things we could do to overcome that is to improve our skills, right? To get better at making the calls and knowing what to say, right? And communicating, improve our skills and communicate in a better way. Okay, that was one. Improving follow-up, having a system. That was one thing that came up, like having a system for follow-up with past clients, starting right after the deal happens, so that you're calling them and saying thanks for the opportunity to work with you, et cetera, and then putting them into that similar follow-up system so that they get regular communication, right? So having a system for follow-up with immediate and other past clients. Okay. That's about all we got through. We had a pretty good discussion about that. So who would like to speak for one of the other groups and how you can overcome some of these challenges in working with your referral group?
I'll talk with you.
Thanks, Malcolm.
One of them was reminder or a checklist even of little things, like they may not apply to every call, but if you have something in front of you, then you won't forget to kind of just cover, hey, if you know anybody. That's one that applies to me, and that a lot of my contacts are out of area, but people are moving this way now. So it wasn't automatically for me to think about that.
Right.
But to include that, all the little things I want to include, just have them there. And they may not all apply to every call, but if the list is there or checklist is there, then
I think that's a great idea. Great idea. Yeah.
The other one was kind of social media group, where you can have past clients and invite them if that's appropriate, if they want to join. And then everybody's there, and then you can always post things there of, hey, if you know anybody or whatever you're posting, they're always in the know and you're always close there. And in our group, somebody has done that and had some success. So
that's a great idea. I like that one. That's a really good one. Somebody that's got something like this, maybe call it a VIP group or something. And I think that's fabulous. Okay. Anything else from your group?
No, those are the main two that you didn't cover. So
okay. And from the other group, anything we haven't touched on yet? Who was the speaker? Catherine,
Do you want me to go?
please.
Hi. Karen had a really cool experience, which we thought was really interesting, that she won an award, and then another real estate agent from another market sent her a congratulations card, and so how cool is that, eh? Like, if he's going around looking for all the awards lists and sending people congratulations and introducing himself, and we thought that was pretty neat.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Sending congratulations to winning colleagues from other markets. Bloody genius. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I tell you guys a really quick story? A lot of you have gone through my training, so you've heard this story maybe. When I got started in the business, there was an agent in Winnipeg who never listed a house, never sold a house, and in 1996 dollars was doing $120,000 a year in commissions. Never listed a house, never sold a house. He went similar to this. He would go to the national papers and find people who got promotions. So you've all seen in the paper, you know, Catherine Hanrahan has been promoted to Executive Vice President of Marketing for Bell Canada. So I'd find Catherine and send her a glossy package. Congratulations on your promotion. Have you thought of an executive home? And that's what this guy did across Canada, right? And he got responses. And then he would refer those people to the high-end home selling teams and agents in markets across Canada and get referral fees. Never listed a house, never sold a house, making 10 grand a month in 1996. So triple it today. Okay. Genius idea.
I can remember, I think it was around 2006, maybe 2007 at the latest. The number one salesperson in Canada was a salesperson out near the Trenton Air Force Base. And all he did was military referrals. He's not out there buying and selling. He's just taking care of people being relocated, military personnel across Canada, and he'd set up the referrals. And he made so much business. He was the number one salesperson in Canada for Century 21. So
love it.
Yeah.
Love it. We had an agent at this office before you were here at Con, Barb Linton. Do you remember that name, Barbara Linton? She may have still been licensed when you started. I'm not sure. But her husband was an educator who worked on military bases in Europe. And she did the exact same thing. She was working military referrals around the world for Canadian forces. And she was consistently top 5 in this company when I started. Every year. And she barely sold any houses. She'd come home for a few months and sell 1 or 2 houses, but that was it. The rest of it was referral business. So fantastic. Catherine, any more ideas from your group? Nicole, I'm on that. You should be.
We just talked about, you know, when you've got a listing in town and Toronto and Durham region, Realtors are obviously showing Peterborough listings. So I was just saying that, you know, recently Ben and I have just been absolutely shameless in, you know, when those Realtors are calling and asking for information about the houses, we end every conversation with, hey, if you're sick of driving to Peterborough for these clients, we're happy to take on your, you know, your Peterborough buyers. It hasn't panned out into anything yet, but whatever, it doesn't hurt.
Absolutely.
Ben's just shouting from the other room saying it has turned into something. So there you go. Like it works. Yeah.
So remind the out-of-towners you'd be happy to pay referrals.
Yeah.
Great idea. Great idea. Okay, lots of good stuff here, guys. So when I said to you, you could take some actionable things away from this session, this is what I meant. But I'm only scratching the surface here. I have an entire system that I want to go through with you and show you additional ways to make some money in real estate. So I'm going to go back to my presentation here. And again, you guys will get a copy of this, so you can all steal each other's ideas. The beauty is, if you do steal an idea from this list, nobody's going to do it the same way, so it'll look unique. So don't worry about it. Okay. All right. So a new plan. Let's add a new way. Let's not stop what you're doing, because it sounds like you guys have some great ideas on how to build your referral business. But let's add yet another system on top of this. Okay. Keep doing what you're doing, but let's add some more. So what if you had a list of 50 or 60 business people, and there's some people on this call that this is specifically going to be attractive to, but I'm going to encourage all of you to think about doing this, okay? Because this is a multi-pronged approach with just 50 or 60 people. Something I haven't got in here, if you guys haven't read 1,000 True Fans by Kevin Kelly, you should read 1,000 True Fans. by Kevin Kelly. Okay. It talks about just having a very small group of people. Now, 1,000 people, if you're selling products, you need 1,000 people. In real estate, you need 100 or two. That people will buy from you over and over again, refer to you over and over again. All you got to do is focus on that group. So you're focusing on your past clients and sphere of influence. Now, let's add another 50 or 60 business partners to this, okay? Where they see some value in cross promotion and where you can actually help them solve their problems, okay? And help build more relationships, okay? So what I'm going to suggest is you're not going to have 50 or 60 people right off the bat, but if this is a plan, once you've seen it that you're interested in, try to add 3 to 5 a week to your list. And build this system out. And you're looking for people that you think you can genuinely help. And don't think because you're not in the real estate, or excuse me, in the restaurant business, you can't help a restaurateur. We've all been to a restaurant and had a great experience that we could share with others. We've all been to a flower shop and had a bad experience where we think we can help them improve their process, right? So think of people you can genuinely help. And again, don't just limit it to think, well, I'm a real estate expert. How am I going to help an IT company? Well, you probably can. Just give it a little bit of thought, okay? If you approach it with service in mind, it's so easy to make these calls, guys. If you call somebody and say, hey, how can I help you? I want to make sure that your business is doing well. The calls are easy to make, okay? So here's how I want you to do this. Make a list of these potential partners, right? You can go on the Chamber of Commerce website. You can just pick out the yellow pages of local businesses, drive down or walk down George Street and write down the names of all the stores. I don't care how you do it. Just come up with a list of potential partners, okay? Then your job is to gather as much information as you can about that business. Who owns it? What do they stand for? How long have they been in business? What kind of business are they building? Where did they start? Get some real information about them, okay? And then you're going to call them. And when you make the call, you're going to reference some of the stuff that you've researched, right? So you've got a backing, an understanding of who they are already. So when you make that call, creep them on social media, go to their Facebook pages, go to their personal profiles if you can, and just find out who they are. Call them and tell them your coach, that's me, has challenged you and encouraged you to reach out to them to try to help them in their business, okay? Now they're gonna think something's up. They're gonna be suspicious because when somebody calls and says, hey, I wanna help you with your business, your immediate reaction is to, whoa, I'm not paying you for this right now, right? So you need to reassure them that you're not looking for money, you're just here to help them, okay? So see if you can get them to open up, find out what their challenges are, and then just help them with no expectation of return. Okay? So just find ways to help these people, okay? When you've added some value, if you can, you add some value, the next step is 2 weeks later, you're gonna call them again, okay? And this time you're gonna say, hey, it's Catherine Hanrahan from Century 21. I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, and I hope that, our conversation was fruitful and you were able to make some improvements or do whatever it was that you tried to help them with. I want to just reach out and see if you had any interest in forming a more formal relationship where we can help each other. I want to learn how I can send you business, and maybe sometime down the road there's some referrals you can send my way. So you're going to just break the ice, set the stage, and hope that they are interested in reciprocating with you. Okay. Any questions so far? No? Okay. So number 5, I got to train them, right? So nobody knows how to take advantage of this right off the bat. You're going to build this out, okay? And you got to teach them how to take advantage of the relationship. You got to tell them how to refer business to you, right? Tell them who your ideal clients are, right? So they know who to refer to you. So for example, if you're somebody who likes working with luxury homes, tell them you have a real success rate with luxury homes, and those are the people that you really like working with. If you really enjoy first-time buyers in this market, I don't know why you would, other than there is some personal satisfaction in it, but it's such a challenge. Tell them that, and tell them those are the kinds of people you love to work with, and if they ever run across somebody, that's who you'd like to be able to help. And let them know you're going to be reaching out to them on a regular basis, and ask them, how do I send business to you? Because depending on the type of business that you've contacted, it might not be very straightforward. If they don't have a retail location downtown, maybe they're an engineer, maybe they're a consultant, and you got to ask them, how do I send you business? Simply asking that question, I think, is going to do a lot in raising your credibility with them. If you're saying, hey, I just want to send you business, tell me how to do that, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're going to be on side with that, right? They're going to be surprised that you want to do it with no expectation of return, monetary return. And I think it goes away to building that credibility, like I said, and the trust, right? Trust is paramount. Get them on the team. Okay. All right. Catherine, go ahead.
Sorry, and can I just to add to that too, if you join, not to be a Chamber of Commerce salesperson, but joining the Chamber of Commerce is, and other like WBN and stuff like that, those relationships are almost like naturally fostered in those kinds of environments, where that's why people join these organizations, is for those kinds of mutually beneficial relationships.
Totally right. Yeah. And guys, just so you know, the company is already a member of the chamber. So if you don't want to spend the money to get your own membership, you are allowed to go to chamber events or online events, as they may be right now, as a member of Century 21. So feel free to look up what's going on at the Chamber of Commerce and attend as a member of Century 21. We're already paying for your membership. There are some benefits if you have your own personal membership. Especially if you go to the higher levels, they'll do, I think they may still be offering videos and everything else for you. I'm not sure, but you're already a member. So that's one outlet that you can already take advantage of. Thanks, Catherine. So now it's time to break your list up into groups. Okay. And this is where it starts to get fun. Okay. You need to prioritize these people so that you can get maximum results for them and for yourself, for your business. Okay. And I apologize if I'm going a little bit quickly. We're at 45 minutes already. So you've already spoken to them, right? You know what's important to them, and you know what maybe a little bit of how their business runs and what their personality is like. So you get to choose how you get to categorize them. So there's no magic in this, and there's no playbook on it. You get to choose. So there's 4 groups, and I'm going to go into these in detail. Okay. Question in the chat. Nicole. Okay. Thanks, Nicole. 4 groups you're going to break them into. So profitability partners, super group, cross promotion partners, and content distributors. Okay, so let's go into this in some detail because I know it's a bit of a foreign topic here. So did I skip one? No, profitability partners. Okay, so out of your 50 people roughly that you've got on your list, you want to pick about 6 to 10 people, 6 to 10 business people that are going to be in this. And this is going to be your accountability group. Okay. So you're going to make a weekly call to each member in this group. And I've got this down here. Think BNI. Like, you guys know what Business Networking International is, right? Everybody's heard of that. These groups get together on a regular basis to share referrals. And you're actually required. You have to bring a referral to every meeting for somebody else in the group, right? That's the way it works. So I want you guys to create your own mini BNI, okay? And for each call that you make, and these are one-on-one calls in this group. So have a goal in mind. Every week, you're going to call everybody else in the group. So 6 to 10 calls. That's it to this group. Have a goal in mind. So when you call them and say, hey, it's our weekly catch-up call, and you've prepared the people in this group in advance that this is what's going to happen. Okay. This week, I need something. So have a goal in mind. So an example might be, I have a client looking for a specific property. So I've got a client looking for a house in East City this week. Do you know anybody that's, owns a house in East City and this has been thinking about selling that I can go and talk to? And if they say no, that's okay. The fact is, you're making the ask, right? This is going to improve your skills elsewhere in your business as well. I'm making the ask. Okay. And then number 2, you should always try to make a connection. So in your conversation with them, what are you working on, right? What are 3 things I can help you with? And who can I connect you to another member of the group or somebody else I know that can help you with your business or something that you're trying to accomplish. So you're going there with an ask. Say, this week I need something, but you're also going to go there and say, what are 3 things you need that I can help you with? And who can I connect you with that can help you to get closer to your goals? And you're going to do this every single week. So you're, again, always approaching this from a position of service. Any questions on that? That's group number 1, profitability partners. Okay. So the second group, I'm going to call this the super group. Okay. So the super group, there are 8 people in this group. This is your mastermind. This is where this is where it gets really fun. Okay. The mastermind group. This is a group call monthly, no more than 45 minutes. Keep it short. Everybody's busy, right? Right now, maybe use Zoom. Maybe you'll continue to use Zoom forever, right? So that you can talk face to face on these calls. Perhaps it's a breakfast once a month when we can do that, right? So you get together and see everybody. So this group, you want to find people that are strategic thinkers, people that you think can help you and you can help them in return on a broader basis. So it's not specific asks with, I need a client for this, or I have a buyer looking for this. It's more strategic. So I need help with goal setting this week. I've been challenged this week. I'm not hitting my goals. What do you guys do to make sure you stay on track? Or this week, I'm having difficulty with my lead generation. I seem to have fallen off. What are you guys doing in your businesses that I can take and learn from, and that the entire group can learn from in terms of lead generation, lead conversion? It's more that the larger picture stuff, right? So this is, again, I think where this gets fun, okay? And then again, who is someone that I can connect to a member of the group? So in that session, you're going to ask, what are you guys looking for? What's something I can do for you, and who can I connect you to help you in your business? Okay. And then make sure that everybody gets involved. Just like I keep asking you guys, do you have any questions? And we've got these breakout rooms. You want to do that in these sessions as well. Make sure that everybody gets involved. You don't want anybody on the call that's just sitting there and not participating because they're not adding value to the rest of the group. Okay. Not that I'm pointing fingers at anybody. But that's the super group. Okay. I think this is the fun one. Cross promotion partners. This one's an interesting one, and I don't know if you guys maybe not have thought of something like this in the past. As a tactic on its own, it kind of works. Okay, this is a real tactical group. So you pick 12, and you're one. So pick 11 more. There's 12 people in this group. Okay, and you're going to cross promote one event per month, one event or a new tool you've developed, something like that, with the other members. Okay, so you're going to promote something for everybody else once a month. Right, so there are 12 members. Every month, you're going to be promoting something for somebody else, and at the end, and when it's your turn, everybody else promotes yours. That makes sense to you guys? So maybe you've got, and we're going to do a little brainstorming here again on this topic in a moment. Maybe you've got a first-time buyer seminar and you need help promoting it. Maybe you're doing an investor seminar and you need help promoting it. I know that Tom Sangster has his own mortgage app for cell phones, right? So maybe he would like that promoted out to the networks of people in his group. So the ask that he would make on when it was his turn, hey, can you promote my new tool, right? So find something like that, a group that you feel comfortable sharing each other's events and tools one per month, okay? And then you think about what this does. If your network on social media is 500 people, 1,000 people, right? Those people are reaching your 1,000 plus the other 10 people in the group, so 10, 11,000 people that you're going to reach for your tool or event that you might not have otherwise. You're going to reach into all those networks, okay? And they get the same in return. Kind of a neat idea, right? You guys thought of doing something like this before? No? I like this. I think this is a really good one, okay? So let's come up with some ideas. Going to break us into groups again. We'll do it quicker this time, okay? Because we are running out of time. Let me just move this. So what are some tools, events, things that you could ask to be promoted on the groups, the 12 other people in your group? That's what I'm really looking for. Events, tools, things that you can have promoted. So you can take advantage of that network that you're building, knowing that in return, you're going to do this every month for other members of the group, okay? So break us into groups. Just give it a couple minutes thought. I won't make this 7 minutes again, just because this one should be quicker, okay? Hey, guys.
Hey.
What do you think? What tool or event can you come up with that you would like to get cross-promoted?
Well, there's lots off the top. Like if you're doing a buyer seminar, which used to be in person, now is a Zoom type thing, you could have that. You could have buyer and seller, so informational events.
Yeah.
You could have, if you're promoting a charity or a fundraiser and you're raising money on behalf of it, maybe there's an event or something that could be pushed out that way.
Maybe that's done in conjunction with, right? So you're doing a seminar and then add the fundraiser to it to get more participation.
What about community events? I mean, not necessarily promoting the whole event like the event organizers would, but maybe something there and maybe you be there as well.
So volunteering at community events.
Yeah.
So how would you use this group that you're creating to promote that? And what would be the rationale? Just to let everybody know that the event is happening and that you're going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's more passive, but just, being out in the community.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. So that's good though.
Or I know
What if it's
Sean
not
used
in
to
a-
hand out water
so-
bottles and stuff.
Yeah.
What if it's not an event? I'm thinking like right now, events are kind of taboo. But what if we've got all this influx of people to the city right now, right, from other areas?
Mhm.
And what if you're creating a repository, either a Facebook group or a part of your website that is going to cross promote local businesses? Like, somebody comes here and they have a dog and they don't have a dog groomer, and they don't know who that is. Maybe you're reaching out and finding out some information about this kind of stuff, and you're creating a repository, and then you're trying to get the word out of that repository of information.
So I've like a Facebook group or a page on your website with resources for new residents.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's a great idea. Can I add to your idea, Kristen, volunteering at community events, community and / sporting events? Was that what you were getting at there?
Yeah.
Right on. Okay. What about, like, we could break this down into property types. So we talked about first-time buyer seminars and investor seminars. What about, waterfront? What about farms? There was a guy, I knew another guy, I met this guy from Manitoba. He would go on month-long tours of Great Britain, particularly Wales. And he would travel around to the farmers and do seminars to teach them how to emigrate from Wales and the UK to Canada, and he would sell them farms in Manitoba all over the province. Really cool idea. He's still in the business, I think. Last conference I went to, I ran into him. Really neat idea.
So outside the box information.
Yeah.
Sessions.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm thinking in town, like you could do a deep dive into accessory apartments in town, and again, speaking to the city and whatnot, gather that information, gather the resources people would need to speak to, and then put on a quick thing and share those resources out. So you're not taking the liability of it, but you're directing them how they can go about finding it.
Yeah, get those experts on the line with you, right?
Right.
Excuse me, almost like a panel style, like a webinar panel. Cool. Very good. Any other ideas, Kristen?
No, I was thinking the buyer type seminars at first, so we already
Okay.
covered that.
Okay. Right on. I was thinking also maybe there's like a spreadsheet or some tool, like an affordability tool that you could develop, like a really simple, like a Google Sheets spreadsheet you could develop for people so they can know what. Cool. Got some really good ideas out of that one. All right. I'm going to go back to my screen, and so I can edit this and put down everyone's ideas. Ah, nuts. I think I signed out by mistake. Give me a second to log back in here. I'm going to have to shrink the font when I get to that page because we wrote down about seven different ideas here. Oh boy, this thing's being slow. Okay. So I had put down as a primer, first time buyer seminar, maybe that mortgage calculator app that I know Tom has, and they're out there. You can get your own. Some other ideas that came out of our group, seller information seminars. Hang on. Charity and fundraisers. And maybe we talked about charities and fundraisers, maybe adding them to other events. So you're going to do an event perhaps on first-time buyers, and you're going to do it in conjunction with maybe the Humane Society, right? So you have somebody from the Humane Society gets 5 or 10 minutes to come on and make their spiel about how important it is and the money they're raising money. They're raising money for a new addition to their facility, and they would love community support, and just make it part of your presentation, right? To get those people involved. Again, extend your reach into yet another network, right? To get some more reach. Volunteering at community events. Community events. And now by itself isn't really a tool or an event that you're directly doing, but if you get your networks to share that out, that you're going to be at that event, volunteering your time and helping out because it's a cause that you believe in, that's probably worthwhile sharing, right? That kind of makes sense. This was a neat idea. Facebook group. Create a Facebook group or add page to website with community resources for new residents to the area, for new residents, right? So that's a tool. You've generated this tool. You've got a group or a page on your website with, how to get your kids enrolled in school, where the parks are, whatever it might be. And then you get your networks, these 12 other people, to share that out to help people that they know that have just moved to the area, and it directs everybody back to you, right? Great idea. Outside the box info sessions, I put that down here. Outside the box info sessions. Particularly around, maybe it's about investors, maybe it's about waterfront, maybe it's about luxury homes, maybe it's about farms. One of the things, another story from the past, this agent out of Manitoba who was going to the UK and Wales years ago and doing seminars at community events there and little community centers about emigrating to Canada. He was talking to farmers and getting them to move to Canada to buy property in Manitoba, and he was selling farms all over the province. And this guy ended up being, again, one of the top agents in the country. But he built a business out of taking vacations in the UK and Wales. So it was just genius. So that's outside the box info sessions. Sessions based on property type. And gets experts to participate, right? So maybe you have someone from City Hall to participate in the zoning process. So you're going to talk about investing in multifamily properties. That's a hot topic right now, right? Houses with secondary suites is a perennial hot topic. So maybe you get some folks from the planning department or the building department to come on and talk about that. That's a great event to host. And last idea, something that came into my head was, why not build an affordability calculator? Use Google Sheets. It's a tool that anybody can use on their computer because it lives on the internet. They don't have to have any special software, but build them just a simple calculator where they can put in how much money they make, and it spits out a really, really simple, unqualified mortgage evaluation. How much can they afford, with a note to contact Mike Jones or someone, another mortgage expert. But indications are, you would, if you actually make this kind of money, this is how much you could afford. So that was one that I was thinking might be a good idea. Okay, who's got some more ideas? Did we capture them all or what?
Constantine mentioned that our Google loves when our websites have links on them. So if you have like contractors or whatever that you refer frequently, put them on your website with a link.
Yeah. So contractors, I've got that on here on your website. I'm going to say contractors and other vendors.
Mm.
Great idea. And again, another tool for people to use from either they're new to town or they've lived here forever and they just don't know who to contact. Getting that shared out to your networks, that's a great idea. Okay. Anything else?
No, you stuck me in a room by myself, so I didn't come with you.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry, Malcolm. Seriously?
It's okay. I went for a coffee.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. That's me. That's my bad. I feel bad about
It's
that.
okay.
Sorry, man.
It's okay.
Holy crow. I'm embarrassed. Sorry. We'll carry on. We'll put that behind us. We'll just carry on now.
Hey, Doug, can I ask you a quick question?
Please.
Yeah. That mortgage calculator that you just talked about,
Yeah.
is that something that Andrew McCrae would develop and pass out to all of us? Because I wouldn't have a clue how to do that.
Is it something that Andrew would develop? I don't know if Andrew's consulting is up for hire or not right now. Good question. Okay, last group.
Never tell anyone you know how to use Excel, right?
I thought
Actually,
Mike Jones had an app now. Did he not?
I think he probably does. I was just going to suggest that Clint Gage's wife, Michelle, is an Excel guru. And she actually does this for a living. She hires herself out to develop Excel spreadsheets and programs for people to use in their businesses. So I'm sure she could come up with something for you. And I don't know what it would cost, but that's what she does full time. And she contracts around the world for this kind of stuff. Okay. I know she just did.
She would refer.
Pardon? What was that?
You think if I used her, hired her, she would refer me?
All right, last group, content distributors. This is everybody else in your group, right? So we've really only talked about 20 or 25 people so far in your group of 50 or 60. The rest of your group, these are your other partners in your group. You're going to encourage them to promote your content on their social media, right? You're trying to get as many eyeballs as you can on your content. And then you're going to do the same. So once a week, you promote somebody else in the group, you promote their content. Okay, so you're going to have to do a little bit of research once a week and find some content in the group that really looks valuable and then share it out. And I know some of you are doing this already. You've got business partners that you work with already, and they put something out that looks interesting, and I know you're already sharing it. So just make it systematic, right? So you got another 20 or 30 or 40 people that you're going to do this with on a regular basis. And like I said, make it systematic, and then you're going to ask them to do the same, right? Once in a while, you're going to say, hey, I've got this piece of content. Would you mind sharing it out to your group, right? It's win-win for everybody. So I think this is a great way to, again, to capitalize on the rest of that group to extend the reach. And don't forget, you should be calling this group on a quarterly basis too, right? You still have to have conversations with these people, send them referrals when you can, and ask in return. Okay. Any other questions? Ideas that you guys have that you might like to bounce around on this stuff? I think this is a pretty good system that anybody can build, whether you're brand new in the business or you've got 20 years experience or 40 years experience. This is something you guys can do to build a system to build business, right? And if you don't have it in your toolbox already, even if you just took one piece of this, there's 4 different categories of referral partners that built into this, right? Even if you just did one piece of it, I think you're going to see a massive improvement in your business. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? Nada? Okay, guys. That's what I got for you. Okay. Let me know if you need anything. I'll make sure that the notes and the video get posted. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. See ya.
Thanks, Doug.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Doug.
Great discussion. See ya.